Calvin Castine, we're at Chazy Central Rural School. We're in the back parking lot, and just to give you a perspective of where we are and where we are going, we'll be going into this door into the industrial arts area, and we have with us a tour guide. We went right to the top to get the tour guide, though, the Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Gerald Blair.
Well, thank you very much, Calvin, for coming by. We really appreciate it. We're almost near the end of our project that's been going on for about a year and 3 or 4 months. We're very proud of what has been accomplished. I want to give you a little tour of the Industrial Arts Building. This is where most of the work was done as far as the internal part of the school work was concerned. This was totally renovated. Classrooms were put in here, and classrooms were moved, and we're very proud of the entire effort.
Okay, one of the things we're going to learn today is how you can spend $6.5 million. I've always wanted to do that.
Very good.
If you were the Montreal Expos, they spent $6.5 million for Fernando Tatis, who played about 10 games this year. So, but you put your money to better use.
We hope to get more than 10 days out of this. We're looking for probably 30 to 40 years. Presently, you're in the old shop. This was the industrial arts area. It has been converted into an art room, and it has art in conjunction with computers. The computer lab will be enhancement of artwork, and it will also be used for industrial arts for CAD work. So this will be a place where the students will be able to experiment and to learn firsthand by Apple machines on how to do all of this.
So drawings for companies. I know we've done a couple of tours over the years at places like Prim Hall and Jefferson Steel.
Yes.
And a lot of their artwork,
that's right,
is now done with computers.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And what we would do is people would go on to 2-year and 4-year colleges from here and get more and more training on this, and that's the kind of jobs that would be available for them.
All right. Are the computers new? Is that part of the project?
Brand new, yes.
This is all part of the project, yes. Also. Yeah. And there's also a decision to be made, Apple or PC, but teachers, what I've seen, seem to prefer the Apples.
The Apples are in this location. We do have a PC lab I'll show you later, but these are all Macs, eMacs, and they're very good for the picture part of the computer business, and we did very well with the contract with Apple, and we got a lot of new Apple machines in here.
We have moved over one doorway, and we're now
in the Industrial Arts Complex. This room basically is very similar to what it was. We've painted everything in the upper levels. We put a new dust collectors in, and we have some new machinery in here. But basically the industrial arts area, the technology, it's now called technology, this area has stayed in the same location. Many of our old tools are still here, still functioning, doing an excellent job. And this was part of the renovation in here also.
Now, were there some larger tools eliminated, or?
Yes. Some of our big lathes that we had on the other side when you saw the art room, they've been eliminated, taken to the bus garage, and will be used in the bus garage area. And we have a lot of people who come in from the outside and need to have something tooled, and they will use some of our machines at time to time. This area basically is student is for the students in here.
And you look through that original yearbook, and you see the emphasis that Mr. Miner put on machine tools.
That's right, yes.
Quite amazing.
Yes.
It's always been a part of what Chazy has had to offer, and certainly the machine tools was probably more prominent because it was more a necessity back when Mr. Minor was putting his school up, and of course now we've moved into the age of computers, but
That's right.
this type of work is still vital
Still
too.
important. Yeah, still very important. I mean, you've got to have this if you're going into the machine business or you're going into tool die. This is where you'll be practicing your trade.
And when we have businesses coming in, this is the type of experience, type of skills that they're looking for.
Yes.
We're in the same vicinity, but we've gone upstairs, and tell us what's changed here.
You're now presently in the old art room, which was on the second floor, and this is a new classroom that has been created. It is our junior high social studies, where Mr. LaFleche teaches, and this is new furniture, new cabinetry. A big deal for Chazy. We've gone to whiteboards. We used to be into blackboards. We've got a new flag for the room. So, I mean, everything in here is basically new. And he's really enjoying it, having a good time in here.
Okay, blackboards, green boards.
Now whiteboards.
Is there a thought behind it? It's just because of markers can be used instead of chalk?
That's right, yes. You use markers rather than chalk, and it doesn't create the dust. It's just a new fad in the blackboard business. But
Okay.
people like it. The teachers like it. New ventilation system, new heating system, new windows, very important here, double pane windows. We used to have the single pane, and a lot of air would leak in, a lot of heat would leak out. And we're hoping that with new insulation and everything installed in the rooms, we'll have a better heating system and cheaper.
Okay. Are there areas where you have fewer windows now? I know there was a period, and I know Northeastern was built maybe a couple of years after this school was built, where they put in lots of windows and they wish they hadn't done so much.
Right. What we have done is the top panel, the top window panel, which would be a whole panel of windows, has been insulated, and we've eliminated one panel. It was a triple decker, so to speak, and now it's just a two-decker with a insulated panel on the top.
Okay. Where are the inkwells? I don't.
inkwells.
No inkwells on the desk either. Okay. Okay, we're about a month into the school year, and they're already reconstructing the south, I see.
That's right, yes. Rob's got Rob McAuliffe room now. This is American history, and he is basically in the middle of the old art room, still on the second floor, and his room faces a little different direction than Mr. LaFleche's room, but the rooms are basically the same. We took the entire third floor, divided it in thirds, and Rob has got his room decked out in American history, and you can see the paneling in the windows. I mean, it shows up a little bit more here for that insulated panel on the top. New blinds, keep the sun out during the day, and hopefully it won't be as hot in the rooms with the blinds, but it's all part of the renovation project.
Now, are the rooms individually controlled as far as heat goes?
Yes, they are. Yes. That's a very good point. All the rooms aren't individually controlled. Actually, they're controlled by computer. We used to have a thermostat that did all of that. Now the thermostat tells the computer, and the computer tells, I guess, the boiler, and the boiler sends the heat or something along those lines. But it is computerized. We have a big computer in a room that takes care of all of the heat in this building. That's kind of neat.
So the computer knows there's nobody here on the weekends and doesn't heat the room for nothing?
That's right. That's right. It's programmed.
Okay. Now, what age group are the students here?
In this classroom, you would have basically, Mr. McAuliffe would teach 11th graders. They would be the juniors, and he has one section of 8th graders. So his classes are basically juniors. He teaches all of the juniors and one section of 8th grade.
Now, some of them got a pretty good height to get over here this far. Eh?
That's right, it is. You're going to get your workout coming from the band room, which is on the other side of the building. If they have band or have gym, and they have to get here, they have to make almost the entire parade around the building in order to get to the second floor here. So far, we're holding pretty close to the 3 minutes. There's a few of them that are late, but they're getting more used to it now, and it's not a big deal.
So they got to pretty much have their history books with them when they go to their prior class.
That's right. They got to have all the materials. That's right. They have all the materials with them.
All right.
You're presently now in the French room on the second floor. This is the road side of the building. The other side was the courtyard side. This room actually was the French room prior to the renovation. A little different condition than it is now, modernized and brought up to date. All the rooms are equipped with computer outlets, so all the teachers have one computer on their desk and have computers for student use. And the heating system, once again, is in here, and your panels are in the ceiling on the top part of those windows, which is, once again, it's a feature all the way around the second floor. It's also on the first floor. We're presently in the after-school daycare area. This area was sort of an open space in the old building, and we made this into our home economics area and our after-school daycare area. They have an office up here, which was created as part of the project, and the rooms are all used during the day by students and can be used at night by the after-school daycare folks. And they've probably got close to 50, 60, 70 people in their program, and they occupy the space.
How late can the parents be to pick up their kids?
6 o'clock. It runs from roughly 3 o'clock until 6 o'clock, 3:30 until 6 o'clock, and there's large numbers of parents that take advantage of it. We're now in a hallway which connects the two history area and the after-school daycare and the French area. This hallway did not exist. It's a tiled hallway now. There was only one little passageway that you came into the second floor in the older building, and this hallway had to be created. The tile idea is a great idea because little hands along the side of the wall won't be marking up things, and we'll be able to clean it very easily. Up in this area also we have two new bathrooms, male and female rooms, and that's big for us because we didn't have any bathrooms in this section of the building before.
We have relocated and given you a shot of where we were, basically, and tell us where we are.
You're now in the new science area. Rooms in the same location. This is the Earth Science room, and we're still in the process of putting in cabinetry and nailing down different things and making sure that everything has handles on it. So the project is not ended yet. We're at the final stages, and cabinets are coming in, and as you can see on the desks, it tells what school it was designed for and what room it should go to. And that gets a panel on it that'll be coming in the near future that will cover that.
So what is the Earth Science doing at the moment?
Earth Science at the moment is teaching. Classes are running. Classes are going on. This is just one cabinet that needs to fill in that slot. We were without desks for about a week and a half. Then the desk you see came. We had chairs. We had some makeshift tables for about a week and a half. So consequently, we had to limp through for just a couple of weeks, and then everything started to fall into place, and we're still going.
Okay. If I had to guess, I'd guess maybe that cabinet's going to be a tight fit.
That's right. Yes, I think so, too. Yes, they're measuring it up now.
We crossed the hall now, and looks a lot like the pond out there.
That's right. You're in the new Apple computer lab. We have two labs. We have a PC lab and we have an Apple lab. This was the business area before. The room we're actually in was last year was portion of this room was they taught French in this room last year, but we moved the French on to the new industrial arts area and to a room downstairs, and this has become the business computer lab area.
Gerald, do all the kids that come through Chazy get a chance on a computer sometime during their education?
Yes, they do. We have elementary computer mandated, and we have high school computer mandated. So both of those areas, the children will leave the elementary school having been exposed to computer. It would be a basic understanding of the computer, some basic writing on the computer, getting some material off the computer, whereas in high school it would be a little bit more advanced. And we hope that this gives them a good start in the computer world, and that they will go on from here and maybe feel this is a career, or at least they're going to use the computer in just about every job they're going to have in the future. Even your car today has to be tuned into a computer to find out what's wrong with it.
Especially your car.
That's right.
So in this area here, I see the keyboard up on the front. Basic typing skills are probably part of what's taught in this class right here.
That's right. We have a course called keyboarding, and that we used to teach it on typewriters. As a matter of fact, just before the project, we got rid of a lot of typewriters that we taught the keyboarding on. We've now gone to the keyboarding with all the computers, because now we can have a computer for every child.
You know, it's only been a few years, but I'd sure hate to go back to a typewriter.
Yes, I know that. I know it's amazing, isn't it? And when we think of computers, we got Royal and we got Smith, and we're wondering, who are those companies? And those used to be the major typewriter companies.
Okay, we are adjacent to the building the room we were just in, and this is
This will be the PC lab. The computers are downstairs. All of the counters have just been put in, and we've got some tape on the counters with an X on it, and that's where the holes will be drilled, where the wires will go down and fit into the numerous boxes that are needed for the computers. But everything is now in place. We have it all here, and now it's just a process of installing it. This room probably will be set up within the next week. So within the first 5 weeks of school, we should have the entire operation going. Computers have been in the other lab up until this time. This lab probably will be opened at the end of the 5 weeks.
okay. We're taping this on September 29th, and on October 5th you have an open house. Was there a hope at one time that this would be ready for the school year to start? Or?
Oh, no, we knew that we weren't going to be totally ready. We were hoping that we would be 95% ready. What the holdup has been at this point has been the counters that you see in here, some cabinetry. This room, for an example, was a holdup, but this was not a priority. I made sure the other room was the priority because we had to have at least one computer lab. The elementary science was not a priority because we could start school without the elementary science room in place. That will be in place probably in another 2 weeks. But we needed the rooms started. We needed science rooms. We needed the history rooms. We needed those rooms finished to start school.
Yeah, and you've only got a 10-week window for most of your major construction, so it's kind of unrealistic to expect it all to be done in a 10-week period.
That's right, absolutely. In the summer, I mean, we did most of the bulk of our work in the industrial arts was started last September, November period of time. And during the summertime, we only had the 10 weeks, and it was a fever pitch around here, and we had many people wondering if we were going to open on time. And we opened, and things were clear, and we had a safe place, and students could learn the first day. It was not a problem. But the room like this, it just took a little bit longer than we expected because of materials not coming in. But we had a computer lab. We just didn't have the PC lab. You're now in the physics lab and 7th grade science room. And this gives you just a little bit different layout of the lab tables. We have water, gas that comes to each table for experiments. And this arrangement's a little bit different than the other rooms that you saw. You saw a different lab table. Here we have desks and a lab setup. This room has probably been the last to receive all of its cabinets, still waiting for some to come. And we've had many of its supplies in adjacent rooms in storage, and now we'll be able to be coming in here and to be able to be stored in the proper location. And the other rooms will be freed up from supplies. We've now just stepped out in the hall from the science rooms, and you can see the new lockers that we have for the project. The lockers are actually the old lockers that have been all repainted. There's actually a fella who has a business in Glens Falls. He's called the Locker Doctor. And the Locker Doctor comes and fixes your lockers. He puts hooks in your lockers, adjusts your locks, and puts in new locks and paints your lockers. And that's who got the contract for our job. And he repainted all the lockers, and we chose the color, and we're in Chazy green for the lockers, and they look pretty good so far. With 4 to 5 weeks, they're holding up well. You're now in the nurse's office on the first floor, basically the same location as it was before, a little bit bigger. Took over a part of a small psychologist's office, and windows were added so that we can see people coming and going in the building for a little security. And this has been basically divided up so that we have a receiving area for the nurse, an office area, and then a student rest area for students that may be sick. And she's very happy in here. She's got a nice new complex, and things are seeming to go very well in here so far.
And I assume this door is locked, though?
It's locked during the day, yes. All of our doors except 2 are locked during the day. We have one handicap door accessibility and one main door in the main lobby that's open during the day. You're presently in Miss Silver's office, the elementary office, and this has been completely done over. New cabinetry, the windows are the same. Windows did not get changed out in here, but the office layout got changed slightly. New furniture has come, and she has a beautiful view of the backyard, looking at the playground and the play area where her students would be during the day. The outer office we're now moving into has changed in design, still in the same area as before. We have a receiving section on both sides. Her secretary and the young lady who works in here to be an aide. In the back part of this, we have the filing cabinets, and we have the copying machines, but the layout is a little bit different. This room became a little bit bigger because it took over a bathroom, which was next door to it, and it grew a little bit by that bathroom size. The bathroom was moved to another location. I got Calvin leaning out the window. We're holding on to one leg here. He is getting a picture of the soccer area. The bleachers and the new soccer area is just beyond that hedgerow. We were going to go out and take a look at that, but we're in a little bit of mud out there, and Calvin's afraid that he may sink out there. So consequently, we're showing this from the building, but the soccer field will be adjacent to the present soccer field, varsity soccer field.
And did they have a target date for that?
Seating within 2 weeks, and use 2 years.
No, you said
Yeah.
seeding, not seating.
Seating, yes,
Seating.
yes. Okay, we're now in the elementary science room, and as I have said before, this was our last room to worry about if we had cabinetry coming. I needed other rooms to be have cabinets first. And this room is, most of the stuff has now arrived and will be put together. This concept of elementary science will give the children in the elementary grades a room to go to for science. I mean, they will have all of the elements of the lab work in here. They'll be able to see little things blow up, and they'll be able to do things with water, and they'll have all of their labs in here, which will be a unique thing. And we're trying to get them excited about science, and this room, we hope, will add to that.
Well, I would think it'd be a challenge in this room because you've got the windows right outside, and this is got to be the best view in the school, probably.
That's right, and the playground is out there, so we got to hold their attention with good science work. And Mrs. Rovers will be heading that up, and she will do a bang-up job. And we'll hope that they'll enjoy coming here, enjoy coming to science. We're in the gym area now, and the lights are warming up, and we've put new lighting in the gym to try and improve the overall lighting system here. And we put in a new clock system, which will also benefit the gym, since one of the clocks it never worked since I've been here. But now the new clock system throughout the building, the clocks are now in the gym also. But the lighting system hopefully will make it a lot brighter in here for basketball games and for gym classes. You're presently now in the guidance area, and this has been a complete transformation for this room. This was a history classroom last year, and we transformed it into a guidance room. It's basically right in the middle of the high school section. And we spoke before of the psychologist who was in whose room got taken up by the nurse, and she had a very, very small room without a window, and now she has a little office in here with a window. So she's very happy to have a window and can look out, and the guidance counselor is over on the other side of the room, and the receptionist would be here at the desk. And we have a little area where students can meet with college representatives and can talk with them. So this room is a work in progress, actually. We're still moving in. We're still putting things away and getting things that we found that we had in storage. So this will probably take another couple of weeks, and we'll have this room in place.
I didn't notice it till I came here, but I noticed underneath the guidance counselor, guidance office name tag out there, I noticed some little bumps that look like Braille.
Yes.
Are more than one office identified classroom identified that way? Or?
All of our signage that went into the new complex is all in Braille, and all of the signage has the Braille identification connected with the signage. I believe that's the way it has to be now. I'm not exactly sure of that, but I think that's the way the architect designed it, and that's how we got the signage. Even storage rooms are all in Braille, and they have to be a certain height so the person can reach them in a wheelchair.
Yeah, you could be in a wheelchair and still be blind or sight impaired. Okay, we've saved the best for the last, and here's where we're going to wrap up spending our $6.475 million right here.
Yes, we're in the high school office, and this area is the same location as it was. Everyone who comes in says, boy, it looks a lot bigger, but it is the same location. We've opened it up, taken out sort of side rooms, and we've taken those out, and we've opened up the area. And we have Mrs. Vesco and Mrs. Martin. Mrs. Martin's in the back collecting taxes. Mrs. Vesco is here in the little window, and Kim Ledoux is over here as she's the first person you come in contact with when you come into the office. But it has opened up, and people seem to like the area. We're hoping that it's more feasible for students and for guests coming in. The big feature in this room is a new sound system. We had a sound system that last year had a lot of problems. We could hardly hear it in many, many rooms. But the sound system and the clock system is all in that machine right there. And the fire alarm, the sound system, and the clocks is right in that system. So it's so far it's functioning. It had a little glitch after we put it in, but for the last 2 weeks it's been running very, very nicely.
Are there battery backups for the fire alarms and stuff?
There is a battery backup, yes, for the fire alarms, and that's in another location. But cabinetry, you can see over in the corner, we need a cabinet there for the corner. We need a cabinet here for the corner. So we have a few more cabinets still coming in, but they're supposedly here and will be installed in the next 2 or 3 days. So we're pleased, and no basic work took place in the boardroom. That's going to get a new carpet, but that's going to be the extent of the work in there.
Okay, and I'm going to be putting this on before the open house, so if you want to tell people about that.
Sure. On October 5th from 12 to 4, the Board of Education is going to have an open house where it'll be self-guided tours and guided tours of where people can come, look around, and see a lot of the things that we've talked about today, and firsthand, and take a look at it. And we'd like to have them see what their money is paid for. And we're proud of this renovation, and we hope they are too.
Okay. And we want to thank Gerald Blair, the Superintendent of Schools here in Chazy, for taking us on this tour on very short notice. But it got me in out of the rain, so it filled up my Monday late afternoon, early evening. I could be out in the soccer field getting wet right now.
Thank you, Calvin. Thank you for coming.